we headed to today?
Boston. Emptied out my soul. You've heard it all before. Honest, but I know. Left these years ago. I was young and I'm old. Still can't fill the void. We don't need the past in our lives for tomorrow. Never see the end of the night filled with sorrow. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love?
Welcome back, and thanks for hanging with the Herrigs. In this episode, we are going to the New England states, starting with an overnight stay in Vermont.
You ever been driving on a road with no name through Vermont?
In the dark.
In the dark. Second thing, we don't have a foot on our leveler because we lost it, and somebody told us we lost it.
We went back and looked.
Could not find it.
Old military. We ended up backing in the dark, so it was hard to get any video, but the next morning when we got up, I filmed a little bit. So this adorable little place is where we stayed for one night last night in Ponwall, I think is how you say it, Vermont. Just close to the border of Massachusetts, Vermont, and New York. And today we're headed to New Hampshire, but this place is adorable. After leaving Vermont, we went through Massachusetts. And after a little sightseeing through Massachusetts, we crossed over into New Hampshire. The road says what a Sunday travel day looks like. Since we both work full-time, we end up traveling on the weekends. And unfortunately, this year, we traveled a lot on Sundays during football season. For 2 weeks, we stayed at Seacoast Camping and RV Resort in North Hampton, New Hampshire, and we absolutely love this park. Although we stayed in New Hampshire, we were only 15 minutes away from Maine, so some days we ventured up to Kittery, Maine. It's a super cute little beach town on the Atlantic Ocean. We played in the sand, and we watched an absolutely gorgeous sunset. While in Maine, we also visited Fort McClary. We celebrated our 11-year anniversary at the Goat Restaurant and Whiskey Bar. We joined the crowd by leaving a signed dollar on the wall, too. The food was very good, and you can't beat the location, which is only a block from the beach.
Dad's flying the airplane so bad.
Hampton Beach is only 6 miles from the campground. There's a really nice playground right on the beach that we visited a couple of times. We didn't know it at the time, but Hampton Beach is one of New England's most famous beaches along New Hampshire's 17-mile coastline. Not only does it offer beautiful ocean views, it also has a cool boardwalk lined with souvenir shops, pizzerias, ice cream parlors, and arcades. We did check out the big arcade, and we came across these super cool pinball machines. We also picked up some saltwater taffy for our family back in Cincinnati. And of course, we had to chase the sunset. On our way home from the beach, we found a restaurant, and it advertised home of the steak bomb, so we definitely wanted to try that. And it didn't disappoint. Where are we headed to today?
Boston.
One of the places that we were really excited to see in New England was Boston and Salem, Massachusetts. And of course, like most of our trips, we started out our day trip to Boston at the Boston Logan International Airport for our little guy who loves airplanes. The first stop after the airport was Bunker Hill Monument. The Battle of Bunker Hill was fought in 1775 in the first stage of the American Revolutionary War.
TD Garden with a Boston Celtics flag.
And did you really go to Boston if you didn't stop to see Cheers? The sheer number of people in Boston blew our minds. We had no idea it was going to be that busy. While in Boston, I wanted to stop and pay my respects for the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing. We wanted to check out Fenway Park, but there was an event going on, so we just enjoyed it from afar. Before we left Boston, I insisted that we drive through the Harvard campus. Not so easy with a large truck, but we did it. Some of us were more tired than others, but we had a great day in
Boston. Boston. Boston.
The Old Salt restaurant in Hampton, New Hampshire came highly recommended, so we went there for a Sunday brunch. After brunch, we drove a little south down to Plymouth, Massachusetts to see Plymouth Rock. The rock represents the area that the Pilgrims' fathers stepped first after disembarking from the Mayflower in 1620. To be fair, Plymouth Rock is underwhelming, but you can expect much from a rock. It's the history. We made the perfect timing arriving in Salem, Massachusetts, right before sunset. It's widely known for the infamous witch trials of 1692. It was really fun to be there close to sunset and in September because Halloween here is on another level of awesome. The House of Seven Gables is a 1668 colonial mansion. One of the most well-known places to go in Salem. After driving around Salem, we decided to get out and do a little bit of walking, and we found the Boston Burger Company, and it ended up being one of the best meals that we've had on this trip so far. If you're ever in the Boston and Salem area, check out Boston Burger Company.
Yes.
We came.
We saw.
We out this witch.
Bye, Salem.
I just saw it's actually not dead.
They're not dead. They're alive,
Look
baby.
at this one.
Since we were only a few minutes away from Maine, we made it a point to drive up there a few times to check out the area. And right on the border of Kittery, Maine is Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Salem got us really excited about Halloween, so one of the evenings we spent some time doing some arts and crafts, making some Halloween decorations. We spent one of our last mornings here at the Airfield Cafe.
How are you? I'm living on the moon. I'm calling from a telephone inside of a saloon. The only other person here left many years ago, and now I sit here at the bar.
Overall, we were really impressed with the Northeast and the New England states, and we would definitely come back again. What are you? What are you? We couldn't drive through Foxborough without stopping to see Gillette Stadium. And we were really glad we did because the people working there were so nice. They let us come in with the camper so that we could get up close and see the stadium. We took our time leaving that day so that we could spend a little time checking out Rhode Island and some of the other New England states. We're saying goodbye to New Hampshire, Maine, Massachusetts, all the New England states today. We're headed to New York City, but we are really going to miss this place because it's beautiful and we had a lot of fun here. So maybe we'll be back one day.
Emptied out my soul. You've heard it all before. Honest, but I know. Left these years ago. I was young and I'm old. Still could fill the void. We don't need the past in our lives for tomorrow. Never see the end of the night filled with sorrow. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? When everything's said and done. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love? When everything's said and done. What do we do to love? What do we do to love?